forgot to mention this in the actual review, putting this right at the beginning now. This microphone was sent out for review for free to me and does not affect my review at all. So this one's kind of out of left field. This company got in touch with me to review a microphone, and this was actually the microphone that I was going to order before I ended up with the SM7B. So I took them up on the offer to see what their sort of entry-level content creator mic would be like, and to see if I wasted money on my SM7B setup. So this mic is made by this company. They told me it's pronounced Fifine, which to me it's missing a couple letters, but I guess we'll let that slide. Model number of this one is K683A, and comes in a pretty normal box. So you get some documentation, kind of like in nice foam, and then all the accessories are in here. But once all the accessories are on the mic, it will basically look like this. So it's got this like windscreen or pop filter, desk tripod, and the USB cable, which funnily enough is like a USB-B cable, like a printer cable, but the other side has the amazing USB-C and also USB-A. You can pick whichever one you want to use. You don't have to plug in both. So on the front of the mic, you have a mute switch. You also have kind of a gain knob here. And on the back, you have a headphone jack for monitoring if you want to do that type of thing. I have the gain set all the way up because I can never really get super close unless it's on a boom arm. And sitting on the desk, you kind of need that gain to be all the way up. So this is essentially the configuration that I used it in. I don't know if anybody noticed or even cares at all, but the last couple, I think the last 3 or 4 of my videos were with this mic, and then the 3 or 4 before that were with SM7B. I definitely do not need an SM7B. I just bought it because I listened to sound tests, thought it sounded the best, and figured I would just go straight to endgame. In using this mic, I actually learned that something a little more basic would have definitely served me totally fine. I'm just doing content creation and like in-game Discord, like in-game chat and Discord calls. So I definitely do not need like a ultra high quality microphone. So I definitely don't need a studio microphone like the SM7B. An all-in-one package like this is way more convenient, and I actually find myself using it a lot more than my SM7B because of just how easy it is to use. You plug it in and you're done. The SM7B has the mic itself, an inline amplifier, an audio interface, and then the interface itself plugs in. So it's a whole sort of long system and setup rather than just the microphone that plugs in directly to your computer. If you're someone who's essentially just getting started and is interested in content creation, you need a mic that's like better than a headset mic or like the voice app on your phone, I think that this is going to be actually quite hard to beat at $52.99 on Amazon. My SM7B, the microphone itself was $400, the audio interface was $200, the inline amplifier was, I believe, $30. The XLR cables were probably $50. And with all that money spent, I don't know if it's actually better for the money. I think it does exactly the same thing. And since I'm not using it in a studio setup or somewhere where I actually need the characteristics of a broadcast mic like the SM7B, it basically doesn't really matter. This microphone here was way more convenient for me to just plug in, record a voiceover or record a video live than having to set up the full SM7B rig, which on paper is way better, but it's definitely more annoying to use and more finicky than something that you just plug in and it's ready to go. So that's kind of all of my thoughts on it. Just sort of coming at this from a content creator perspective, someone who's specifically doing mouse reviews or tutorials or VO stuff. I think that it's going to be hard to beat something that's a nice, easy all-in-one solution. It's going to sound way better than your headset mic. Going to be tremendously cheaper than using an RE20 or SM7B or, God forbid, anything even better than that. As long as it's clear, sounds good, you're pretty much good to go. So at a certain point, convenience matters a ton when it comes to starting and finishing a video and reducing the amount of friction you have in all of that. That's kind of it. I think it's a great microphone. It's really easy to use, relatively cheap, seems relatively well made, although compared to an SM7B, everything feels cheap, but it does feel pretty good for its price. And yeah, so that's kind of it. I'm going to do a couple recordings of me recording the exact same thing on the SM7B and the Fifine K683A, and you can see how similar or different they are and see if it's worth the difference in spending nearly $1,000 on the setup or 60 bucks. Hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit different, but I think it might help being that it is adjacent to what I do here on YouTube. So thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Peace. So this is a direct comparison with the SM7B and the Fifine K683A microphone. I've got them both equally spaced from my mouth at an angle off axis. Hopefully you can hear the difference. The processing that will be done to them in post will be exactly the same to give you as good of an idea as possible of what the actual differences are. As I record in Audacity, the amplitudes look pretty close, so hopefully it should be a pretty easy comparison to spot the differences. Anyway, thanks again for watching all the way to the actual end now. Like and sub if you like this video. Thanks so much. And that's it. Peace. So this is a direct comparison with the SM7B and the Fifine K683A microphone. I've got them both equally spaced from my mouth at an angle off axis. Hopefully you can hear the difference. The processing that will be done to them in post will be exactly the same to give you as good of an idea as possible of what the actual differences are. As I record in Audacity, the amplitudes look pretty close, so hopefully it should be a pretty easy comparison to spot the differences. Anyway, thanks again for watching all the way to the actual end now. Like and sub if you like this video. Thanks so much. And that's it. Peace.